This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the sincere elders of GMS and the other elders who rule under them. I'm going to this lesson about regaining momentum and making sure that you're in the right path, because it's easy to get caught up on the affairs of this world. And I'm a perfect example for that. Because recently I got into a serious accident where I recently bought a new e-scooter, and I've always wanted this for a while. But, times and money and things of that nature had to be taken care of first before I actually got it. And definitely the Lord understood that. He knew that I really wanted it. And I got this about 3-4 days ago. And I got myself into an accident literally the second day that I got this thing. I was going very fast down a bridge, through the Manhattan Bridge, since I live in New York City. And it was already too late, where there was actually a curve that was going to the left. And I did brake, but it was already too late, and I hit the wall very hard. And it was just a terrible, terrible accident. Like, I've never experienced anything like this. It was my first time really getting hurt, like, viciously. And it really, I'm still feeling the effects of it today. And it just really shows that you're supposed to really be focused on what you're doing and making sure that whatever you're doing is on point, that you're never deviating from the Lord. Because I found myself getting caught up in the affairs of this world, and it was not a good feeling, because in your spirit when you're doing something wrong or when you're doing something right. When you're doing something wrong, you just have this feeling within inside your mind. And that's what I felt. I'm like, there's just something off, and I know I'm supposed to be doing better, and I'm definitely going to do better, because it's unacceptable what I'm doing. I need to make sure that I'm putting the Lord first before anything. And it was definitely the Lord's will that I got into this accident, because on that same day, I still decided to work. Even though I was really hurt, I was able to still walk, even though I had neck pain. My right quadricep was in pain, but I don't know. I mean, I just managed to pull through, and I didn't go to a hospital. I just put a few bandages here and there all around my body, and decided to stay at work. And as I'm working, and I'm actually a porter in a residential building, I'm taking care of the recycle bins and people's garbages on each floor. And eventually I got to a specific floor. I think it was the 12th floor, if I'm not mistaken. I really believe it was the 12th floor. And on that floor, I found in the trash room an actual tripod that was literally the same exact one that I had. It was scary. It was very scary, because I'm thinking in my mind, I really offended the Lord right now. And not only was it the tripod there, and it was the same one that I had, but it was taped up. It had tape all around it. It looked broken. It clicked for me. It really clicked at that moment. I said, oh shit. Yeah, I definitely offended the Lord. And I prayed to the Lord at that very moment to forgive me for putting him last, and not last, but not really putting him as first as I should have, because I was very focused on getting this new scooter and enjoying it and whatnot, whatever. And I deserved it. I deserved to get hurt, because the Lord can easily take away my life if he really wanted to, and he preserved me. I got very lucky. Well, I didn't get lucky, but it was all the Lord's will that I was preserved, but I would experience that severe pain that he brought upon me. Once I realized that this was the same tripod, it was just, everything clicked. It all made sense. Not only was that tripod with some tape, I was literally just covered in bandages all over my body. So I'm like, this is very spiritual, because I definitely just, I needed to get this. This was done all through the Spirit. It clicked in my mind, and I definitely needed to get my mind right and in order. But either way, I still gave praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, because he's the one who's responsible for taking away your life or adding to your life, putting you to death, giving you pain, whatnot. So let me stop talking, just get straight into the scriptures about, regaining momentum and making sure that you're on the straight path, because it's very easy to get caught up in the affairs of this world. Salaki, if I'm talking too much, Akwathium. All right. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children, my son. Despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. So this was me receiving chastening from the Lord. I received scourges, and the Lord really put me through hell, righteous hell, well-deserved hell, in order to show me that he is the living power, and he can do whatever he wants. There's no way I can escape out of his hand. We all forget that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. If we think that the sun is brighter, the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than that. I keep forgetting that. And that is such an important thing to remember. And I'm telling this to myself. The eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. He's everywhere. He's omnipresent. Oh, I need to get that scripture about the Lord's omnipresent. The fear of the Lord is omnipresence. It's somewhere in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Fear the Lord. Salakia. Yeah, here it is. This is book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law, and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Because omnipotency basically just means he's everywhere. And how's he everywhere? The angels are everywhere on this earth, whether they're in the UFOs or they take into people's spirits and hijack them for some time. The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, so it's impossible to hide in your own thoughts. Whatever you say behind closed doors, everything is taken into account. So that's something to always remember, and I have to keep reminding myself that, because the Lord The Lord is everywhere. You can't escape out of his hand. So you need to really be ready for everything that you're thinking, saying, and doing. It's just it shocks me sometimes still to remember that. But let me stop talking. But let me say this actually again. Sirach chapter 19 verse 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency. Yeah, that's a really deep scripture. I'm gonna go to Proverbs chapter 15 now. This is Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. And that literally just links up to the scriptures. The eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So if his eyes are everywhere, that should keep you aright. It should keep you, it should make you want to stay on point. And I have to remind myself this all the time, because it's easy to get caught up in this world and all the bullshit within it. Because ultimately, everything here is going to be vanquished. It's going to get destroyed. But, since we're under this flesh, and the flesh requires, gratification and all these short-term, satisfaction, so to speak, it's easy to get caught up. But when you really look at it at the grand scheme of things, especially here in the United States, it's going to get vanquished. So we need to stop worrying about the short-term goals and look at the long-term goals, which is the kingdom of heaven, which is almost going to be established on this earth, because there's so much prophecy going on, including the mark of the beast, a lot of talks about World War III, etc. But yeah, let me keep going. Salakia, Aquathium, and Achium. This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Yeah, so I was thinking in my mind that, I'm good. I have nothing to worry about. The Lord is not gonna be mad at me. That was literally my mindset. And lo and behold, he chastised me very harshly, and I deserved it. Every last one of this pain that I'm experiencing. I thought I was right in my own eyes, but I wasn't. Now go to Proverbs chapter 24, verse 16. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. And 7 just means completion, meaning it can be an innumerable amount of times that a righteous man falls. But the point is, they get back up and they shake off the dust off their shoulders, their feet, so to speak, metaphorically, and they get right back into action. They don't give up, because I'm not giving up. This is light compared to what the other prophets of old have been through, what other Akim currently living today have been through. What I'm doing, what I've just been through, is nothing. And I'm thinking about the recent passing of one of the brothers, Brother Danya Allah, who got burned. He was burned alive with rubbing alcohol. And that, just the thought of that really makes my skin tingle, because the Lord can really do damage to you. It's scary, man. I've been thinking about that brother a lot, man, because he was going through a lot of pain, and he endured. You see, the average person can't handle that. Most people cannot handle that kind of pain, and it's easy to give up the ghost, but he didn't. He kept going, and he endured. It's very scary, But the point is, for a just man falleth 7 times. Salakia, the spirit has me all over the place. This is just how my mind works. I'm trying to stay focused, but let me keep going. Thank you. The book of Mark, chapter 4, verse 19. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lusts of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. Again, it's very easy to get caught up in the affairs of this world. But when you put it into perspective, it's all bullshit. The fact that we're not eating real authentic food, we're not drinking real water, the money that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, it's not real valuable money. It's fake, it's printed, it's paper. When you start really digging deep into that and remembering that, it starts to really say, okay, that's when you really get a revelation that, yo, this life is nothing compared to the kingdom, because the kingdom is going to be forever and everything is going to be in its proper place. And the cares of this world, it's all garbage here. Like, who actually gives a fuck about, Salaki for my language, but who cares about what's going on in this current world, man? It's all going to be vaporized. It's all going to be put down. And I found myself, getting caught up in this garbage. I'm thinking in my mind, like, why am I so focused on what's going on in this world? Because it's all garbage. And it really does stop you from really wanting to get into the scriptures and analyzing it. And all this is through the Spirit from my awareness. Because I have to make sure that I'm on point. Because if I'm not on point, then I'm gonna get caught up in this world. And it's an everyday battle. It's always gonna be a battle until the Lord comes. And Lord willing, he comes very soon. But the only way that's going to happen is if people like myself and other Akim are doing the work and need to stop procrastinating and focus and stop getting caught up on this world, because it's all bullshit at the end of the day. All right. I'm going to go to the book of 1 John. Chapter 2, verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. This current world order is not real life, so to speak. This is not how life is supposed to be. The fact that we're really suffering in this current world should let you know that this is not our world of Israel. We're still waiting for the kingdom to be established. It's all garbage again. Everything is going to be destroyed. So the fact that everything's going to be destroyed and it's all going to come to naught should really put things into perspective. Because for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. It's not of the Father. None of these things are of the Father. And I definitely got to keep reminding myself that it's insane. It's crazy how these scriptures really bring everything into perspective. Because it's you can really get caught up in these things. But you obviously will have the knowledge that things are all jacked up and out of place. But again, we're under the flesh, and we're going to be subject unto the flesh here and there. Not all the time, but here and there. But I just gotta keep going. It's a constant battle. Every day is a battle. I'm gonna go back to the book of Proverbs. Salakia. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And this is a perfect example of me. There's a way which seemeth right unto me. So I was so focused on getting the scooter, I didn't give a fuck about anything else. I was like, I want to ride this. I'm going to have fun. And guess what? And that was the same day I should have gone out to preach the scriptures. And I knew in the back of my mind, I have to go preach the scriptures. But also that same day, it was raining. It was groggy. I was giving myself excuses. And I'm not the type of person to give myself excuses. But I definitely knew in the back of my mind, okay, if I'm not going to go out today, I got to go out again. I have to go out this week. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just go out. Again, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. We have to keep the statutes, the laws, and the commandments of the Lord. At the end of the day, it's all about that. It's all about following the Lord. Nothing else matters in this life. Nothing else matters. Let me go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. I'm going to end it here. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and Shalom.